Okay, it's film class week 6, part 4. Um, I want to turn now to like a bigger sort of theme. I mentioned the way that these movies are often about one murder, but they reveal a kind of larger fucked upness or corruption. One of the big corrupting forces in this movie is capitalism, the idea of money. You'll notice, for example, I was talking about fate earlier. Phyllis has a chance. They would be able to get away with the murder, except because Neff tells Phyllis, don't sue the company, because if you sue them, then he's going to make the argument that you committed murder. Because what the insurance company just doesn't want to pay. So if she does, and she actually gets brought in by the boss, and he's like, listen, I think this was suicide, and you say it's an accident. We're willing to pay you some. But she doesn't want some. She wants all of the money, the big double indemnity money, the twice as much money. And she can't stop herself. But she has a chance where she can commit murder and get some money. But that's not what she wants. She wants all the money. And Neff tries to tell her, listen, don't go after this money or they're going to chase after you for murder. But she can't help it. She wants that cash. So again, that's that fate. It's the kind of person she is, greedy, that leads her to her doom. She had the chance to choose otherwise, but she couldn't. She couldn't choose otherwise. She had to have that cash. The idea of cash and money and things, and capitalism and companies and offices is a big part of this movie. In fact, the whole concept, first of all, of insurance, and Neff says this, it's a way to turn your husband into cash. In a capitalist society, anything you own, including your body, you sell for money, right? I mean, coal miners and sex workers equally sell their body for money. They did, if you think sex work is selling your body for money and it's bad, but coal miners is selling your body for money and it's good, you ought to ask yourself what's bugging you there. But the idea, capitalism says you sell things for money, but people can also be sold in capitalism. We don't like to talk about it like that, because obviously, slavery is something that we're against, obviously. But that was sort of the most extreme example of selling people for money and selling bodies for money. But in this movie, the idea of I'm going to kill my husband and the insurance company is going to pay out if I make it look like an accident, then the accident insurance is going to pay me money. And he jokes, this is a way of turning your husband into cash. That's a phrase that you're supposed to use like, oh, if you have a gold ring with a diamond in it, you can turn it in for cash. But now we're talking about turning human beings in for cash. And obviously it's not the same thing as slavery, but the concept is there. The idea that a body can be exchanged for money. It's the money is like one of the major forces in this movie that causes all of the corruption and the trouble. That's one of the most interesting things about the film is that it feels like a movie where they commit murder and Keyes is like a police officer who's investigating them for murder. But Keyes is not a police officer. This is not a movie where the Keyes is like sort of the hero, right? He's the guy that wants to uncover the murder and sort of punish, I guess, the murderers. But he's not doing it because he thinks murder is wrong. He's not doing it because he believes these people who commit murder should be behind bars. He's not doing it for justice, because you can imagine like a hero, I gotta catch the bad guy because for justice or whatever. That's not what's happening. And even you can imagine a cop movie where the cops are trying to, bring justice to the victims of that is not what is happening in this movie. Keyes works for the insurance company. This is how insurance is basically like placing bets on shit, right? They say, okay, if you pay, how does insurance work? In insurance, you pay like a monthly fee. Let's say you give the insurance company $100 a month or something, right? And then if you have an accident, you get a big payout. The way it works is that, let's say an insurance company gets 100 people to give them $100 a month, right? If someone has an accident, then they have to give that person a lot of money, like $10,000 or whatever. I'm just making up a number here. The reason this works as a business model is because not everybody's going to get in an accident, right? If every single person who had accident insurance got in an accident, the insurance company would go bankrupt, because that's crazy to take $100 a month from people, and then if 100% of them get in an accident and you have to give all of them $10,000, you're going to go bankrupt. So it's essentially a betting game. You're saying if you get in an accident, we will pay you this month. You pay $100 a month, and we're going to take $100 a month from 100 people, and maybe only one of them gets in an accident, and then we'll give that guy $50,000. But all that money we took is more than $50,000, and so we turn a profit. That's the business. That's how it works. But they're betting. They do research on you to be like, I bet this guy will not get in an accident. In fact, there's a little man on the elevator early on who says he has a bad heart. And so he works for the insurance company. He works in the building taking Neff up to his office. But he says they won't give him insurance because he has a bad heart. Because if they gave him life insurance, when he dies, they got to pay, you know, the earlier he dies, the more money they have to pay. Well, if he's got a bad heart, they're like, this guy's probably going to die early. So they're not going to take $100 a month from that guy. And then, because they have to pay a lot when he dies, and they think he's going to die because he's got a bad heart. The insurance companies, and if you've ever dealt with an insurance company, you know a lot of them are fucking assholes. Because, of course, the capitalism is all about making as much money as you humanly can, which means the insurance company doesn't want to pay you. I mean, they'll pay you if they have to, but they're going to try to avoid paying money. They're going to take you to court. They're going to say it doesn't count. So you buy home insurance, and then you get hit with an earthquake, and they're like, well, normally we would pay, but earthquakes is a separate situation. You have to have separate earthquake insurance for that, so we don't owe you anything. And health insurance is the same way, right? They're supposed to pay for your stuff. You pay them every month, and then they're supposed to pay for your doctor's visits and surgeries. But then they're like, oh, your surgeon is out of network. That doesn't count. We're not going to pay. Like, I had surgery when I got hit by a car, and they, and it cost a lot of money, and the insurance company paid my surgeon, and they paid, the nurses and all the people. But then the anesthesiologist, the guy who knocked me out, he wasn't technically a member of the circle of people that my insurance company likes. So they were like, we're not paying that guy. You got to pay that guy. That guy wanted a lot of fucking money. And how am I'm supposed to argue about this? I have a massive injury. My bones are broken. And you want me to get on the phone I got to check to make sure everybody in the hospital that's walking into my surgery is on the network of approved doctors? So I'm sure you guys have dealt with insurance companies before, but they're assholes. So one of the most fucked up things about this movie is that Keyes feels like the hero uncovering a murderer and fighting for justice. But that's not what Keyes is doing. Keyes wants to uncover, it's a puzzle for him. He wants to solve it. But the reason why he's interested in solving it is because if he can prove it's a murder, it's not that they get to go behind bars or go to jail. It's that the company doesn't have to pay the double indemnity clause because they have a special thing to get you to buy the insurance. Oh, if you die on a train, we pay double. Because they know most people don't die on trains. And so it's a meaningless offer because they don't think it's going to come up. So Neff just doesn't want to pay this lady. He wants to save the company money. So if you've ever dealt with asshole insurance people or had, you get in a car accident and they don't want to fucking pay, they're assholes. But in this movie, they sort of feel like the police or moral authority. And that's fucked up because they're not fighting for justice. They're not fighting for truth. They're not fighting for goodness. They're just fighting to hold on to cash. It's messed up that that's the hero of the film. It's worth pointing out here that the police in this world of double indemnity, the police are completely fucking useless. Where the hell? There are no police. It's really it's Phyllis and Neff versus the insurance company. The police, they're just the guy fell off a train, he died. That's it. It was an accident. They don't investigate. There's no policeman in this movie. It's all the insurance company. So it's really it suggests something terrible about America. The movie, even again, the bad guys are punished in the end. Okay, good. I feel better. You shouldn't feel better. Because this is a world where the police are completely fucking useless. And the insurance company is the only people who are sort of fighting criminals. That's nuts because they're not interested in, they just want to save money. So when you back up and look at the movie, even though Keyes feels like the hero, it's really just a movie filled with terrible people. And by the way, what was it that got Phyllis in all of her trouble? Greed, right? She killed the wife so she could become the new wife in the backstory to the movie. And then she wants to kill the husband so she can get his money. She wants to kill Lola so she doesn't get caught. But she's motivated and she wants that insurance money. She's motivated by greed. Okay, what's the insurance company motivated by? Also greed. This is a movie where all the characters are fundamentally greedy. It is a fucked up and extremely disturbing world on that front. All right, I'll see you in the next video.